Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen, all his reindeers pulling on the rein. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. Hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Hello and welcome to Mouse in the Mitten Trivia Pod, a podcast where you can test your Disney trivia knowledge over a variety of topics. My name's Court and I will be your host. Our game will consist of 5 rounds of 6 questions, covering everything from your basic Disney knowledge to some little unknown facts. Each question is worth 1 point unless otherwise noted. Make sure you're following us on social media at Mouse in the Mitten, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok. And hey, if you are planning a Disney vacation sometime in the next couple of years and you want some help and you want it to go from good to great, I would love to be able to help you plan that out, be able to get everything squared away to make it the best vacation ever. To be able to do that, you can reach me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. Would love to get you all set up. Well, hey, the tree is up. Christmas is right around the corner now, and for me, Christmas essentially never leaves, but we are going to hold on to a little bit of that spooky season here at the top because we are going to talk about the Tower of Terror. So we're going to celebrate and close out spooky season talking about the Tower of Terror. And the next round, we're going to change things up a little bit and focus on another movie that you can lump into the current spooky holiday season. But we're going to get started with question number 1 on the Tower of Terror. What park is the location of the original Tower of Terror? Question number 2. What TV series is the original location based on? Question number 3. What movie is the Disney California Adventure version based on that opened in 2017? Question number 4. How many Tower of Terrors are there across the Disney parks? Question number 5. How tall is the original Tower of Terror? And question number 6. In June of 2021, a movie based on the ride was announced and planned to star what actress? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music and then we will drop into the answers. All right, let's get some answers here on the Tower of Terror. So question number 1. What park is the location of the original Tower of Terror? Well, that would be Hollywood Studios in Disney World. I would also accept MGM Studios because that was obviously what Hollywood Studios was before it turned into Hollywood Studios. But either one, I'll take it. That is the original location. That is the first location. And that is by far one of the coolest parts of that park. Question number 2. What TV series is the original location based on? It is based on The Twilight Zone. Technically, the full name is The Twilight Zone's Tower of Terror. Obviously, you have scenes of the Tower of the Twilight Zone, all that sort of stuff. So it's something that's really, really cool. Question number 3. What movie is the Disney California Adventure version based on that opened in 2017? Well, that would be the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, originally it was modeled exactly the same way as the one in Florida, but eventually it has turned into the Guardians of the Galaxy. Question number 4. How many Tower of Terrors are there across the Disney parks? There are a total of 4. Obviously, we've talked about Disney World and California Adventure already, but Disneyland Paris and then Disney Seas in Tokyo also has one. Now, the one in Paris and the one in Tokyo is themed a little bit different, but at the end of the day, you're just dropping really, really fast, and you feel like you're coming out of your seat because you kind of are there for a little bit. Question number 5. How tall is the original Tower of Terror? It is 199 feet. Now, the reason for that, if you watch any sort of documentary about the Tower of Terror, the reason why it's 199 feet is that the law states that any building over 200 feet needs a light beacon for anything that flies, helicopters, planes, that sort of stuff. They didn't want that on top of the Tower of Terror. So in order to prevent that from happening, they made it 199 feet. So again, just a fun little quip there. Last but not least, question number 6. In June of 2021, a movie based on the ride was announced and was planned to star what actress? Well, that would be Scarlett Johansson. Now, briefly, that movie was paused and the pre-production was paused because Scarlett Johansson was at the time suing Disney based on Black Widow and everything else like that and trying to get the money off of that. They have since settled, and as of right now, it is planning on some point continuing to roll. They are still doing pre-production, all that sort of stuff. But as of right now, there is a movie sometime in the next probably 5-6 years that stars Scarlett Johansson about the Tower of Terror. So yeah, a fun ride, one of my favorites, and it still doesn't matter how many times you ride it, it's still scary, but still so much fun. Continuing on now into round number 2. Now, typically, round number 2 is reserved for our fast facts, but this week, because there are so many great movies that are having anniversaries, we want to celebrate them all. So this round is titled Monsters Incorporated. This week's anniversary, one of them is Monsters, Inc. It's a great movie. Definitely, when you think of Pixar, this is one of the first movies that you think of. Usually it's right up there with Toy Story, The Incredibles, and Cars. So let's celebrate Monsters Incorporated. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did Monsters Incorporated premiere in the U.S.? Question number 2. What number movie is Monsters, Inc. for Pixar? Question number 3. What is the name of Mike Wazowski's girlfriend with snakes for hair? Question number 4. John Ratzenberg plays what character in Monsters, Inc.? Question number 5. Roughly, how many hairs are there on Sully's body that were individually moved by Pixar artists? And question number 6. What is the name of the restaurant that Sully takes Boo to show Mike that a kid had come through the door and was in their universe? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's get you some answers here to Monsters, Inc. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did Monsters, Inc. premiere in the U.S.? Well, it premiered on November 2nd, 2001. So in order to get the point there, you would have had to say between 1999 and 2003. Now, that will play a role in one of the questions later, and it, kind of in a reshoot as well. We'll talk more about that here in a second. Question number 2. What number movie is Monsters, Inc. for Pixar? It is the 4th feature film that Pixar put out. Toy Story 1, Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, and then Monsters, Inc. That is the order of those movies. And of course, plenty ever since. Question number 3. What is the name of Mike Wazowski's girlfriend with snakes for hair? Well, that is Celia May. Celia would be acceptable as well, but definitely they make a very cute couple. I was kind of hoping that in the prequel of Monsters University, they would kind of do something with that, but they chose not to. I respect it, but it's kind of cool. It'd be nice if they kind of showed them crossing paths. I'm sure that somewhere there's something about Celia walking around, and we see her in the background of something. I've never noticed it personally, I guess. Question number 4. John Ratzenberg plays what character in Monsters, Inc.? He is the Abominable Snowman. So when Mike and Sully get banished, that's who they get banished with. He wants to be called the Adorable Snowman. And if you don't know the connection there, John Ratzenberg is in almost every single Pixar movie, in whether it's just a line or it is a full-blown part of the movie. He is a very well-known actor, voice actor specifically in the Pixar universe. Question number 5. Roughly how many hairs are there on Sully's body that were individually moved by Pixar artists? There are 2.3 million hairs on Sully's body, and they said that it kind of was like pulling strings to get each one of these hairs to move exactly where they want it to move. So if you had said something in the realm of 2.3 million, you got the point there. Now, that's impressive. When you think about this movie came out in 2001, that means they probably started working on the animated side in like 1998. It took them that long, and they moved all those hairs, and this was, 20 years ago plus. The fact that they made it look that good and it still holds up to this day is incredible. Last but not least, question number 6. What is the name of the restaurant that Sully takes Boo to show Mike that a kid has come through the door and was in their universe? It is Harryhausen. Now, the restaurant that Mike takes Celia for Celia's birthday is called Harryhausen's, and it's an homage to Ray Harryhausen, who made a lot of monster movies in the 50s and 60s. So it's a little bit of an homage, and same thing with the octopus. The octopus that's making the sushi only has 6 limbs. Apparently there was a movie that he did that the octopus only had 6 limbs. So it's a little bit of an homage to him. Now, that restaurant also plays a kind of a cool little backstory. Now, obviously we talked about how the movie came out November of 2001. Well, in the original cut, the restaurant was going to explode when they discovered the kid as Mike and Sully are running away with Boo. Well, and for obvious reasons, they decided to change it to just a tractor beam as opposed to an actual explosion. I think they made the right call on that one. But again, fantastic movie. Definitely holds up. Continuing on now into round number 3, we are going to keep round 3 the same. And round 3 is our connecting the circles round. For this round, I'm going to ask you 5 questions that may or may not be Disney related, but the answers do relate somehow through Disney, and that's going to be the 6th question, is what is the connection to those answers? So let's get started with question number 1. Fill in the blank with the correct name. Blank, let down your hair. Question number 2. What is a 4-letter word for a mark left on your skin where a wound had been? Question number 3. What is a common expression to mean to struggle helplessly in water and is also a name of a type of fish? Question number 4. What is a type of covering for a floor that is often soft and made of fabric? Question number 5. What is a musical instrument that is associated with Christmas and when rung means an angel gets their wings? And question number 6, what is the connection between those answers? I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to figure that one out, and then I will return. All right, let's see if we can connect those circles. So question number 1. Fill in the blank with the correct name. Blank, let down your hair. Correct answer there is Rapunzel. Obviously, if I had said Rapunzel, let down your hair, you probably would have gotten that, but we're looking for the name there. Hopefully you got the Rapunzel, let down your hair. Question number 2. What is a 4-letter word for a mark left on your skin where a wound had been? That is a scar. Oftentimes you see it's a little bit different color than the skin. That is known as a scar. Question number 3. What is a common expression to mean to struggle helplessly in water and is also a name of a type of fish that is a flounder? They often say to you floundered in the water or you're floundering about. That is flounder. It's also a type of flatfish. Not really a ton on there to eat, but that is a flounder as well. Question number 4. What is the type of covering for a floor that is often soft and made of fabric? We are looking for a carpet. Oftentimes carpet covers the floor. It's soft. It can have some different textures, but that is what we are looking for there. That is a carpet. Question number 5. What is a musical instrument that is associated with Christmas and when rung means an angel gets their wings? That is a bell. Obviously, the whole angel gets their wings from It's a Wonderful Life, but the answer there is a bell. So we had answers such as Rapunzel, Scar, Flounder, Carpet, and Belle. The connection there, all those characters have made appearances in other Disney movies. So that means that they're like a very brief appearance. Obviously, Rapunzel is in Frozen. We see her and Eugene walking in together as at the start of the coronation day. For Scar, we see him in Hercules. Hercules is wearing him as they're painting the pot. For Flounder, we see him in Moana during You're Welcome. Whenever they show all the chalk fish, we see a drawing of Flounder on there. For the carpet, we see him in Princess and the Frog. So we see the magic carpet. It's right at the beginning. Right when they're showing the intro, there's someone that has a rug that they're kind of getting the dust out of. That is where you see the magic carpet. And then, of course, Belle, she is in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. When Quasimodo's looking down on the town square, you can see Belle walking, and she looks like she is singing her song from the movie. Now, Disney characters being in other movies have been around for a long time. Obviously, this all kind of started way back with The Little Mermaid, with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy being in there. But oftentimes it's very quick, and if you see it, you kind of keep an eye on it. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. Just a cool little thing that Disney does. Continuing on now into round number 4, we are going to talk about Brother Bear. Again, another movie anniversary. This one, my personal opinion, highly underrated. It's a very good movie, great story, great music, but definitely because of the time in which it came out, definitely does get buried from time to time as well. Let's get started with question number 1. Within 2, when did Brother Bear premiere to the public? Question number 2. What singer-songwriter did Disney bring back to write and produce the music for Brother Bear after their success with Tarzan? Question number 3. What award-winning actor lends his voice to Kenai and is still the only major Disney movie to his credit? Question number 4. What U.S. state is the location of Brother Bear? Question number 5. What are the names of the 2 moose that provides a lot of comic relief? And question number 6. How did Disney represent Kenai's expansion perspective of the world? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, and then I will return. All right, let's get you some answers here on Brother Bear. So question number 1. Within 2, when did Brother Bear premiere to the public? It premiered on November 1st, 2003. So in order to get the point there, you simply would have to say between 2001 and 2005. Question number 2. What singer-songwriter did Disney bring back to write and produce the music for Brother Bear after their success with Tarzan, that would be Phil Collins. So again, produced some fantastic songs for this movie. Definitely, I mean, he knocks it out of the park every single time. So definitely a very good songster. I mean, we're talking about Phil Collins, great artist. Question number 3. What award-winning actor lent his voice to Kenai and is still the only major Disney movie to his credit? That is Joaquin Phoenix. Now, obviously, the types of movies that he does are not these types of movies. So, I mean, this movie came out 30 years ago, so it doesn't surprise me that he hasn't done a Disney movie since then. Just his acting, the type of actor that he is not Disney. And that's why we see him in such really good roles that aren't Disney related. So again, very good actor. Love seeing him in all the different movies, but he's just not a Disney type person, I guess. Question number 4. What U.S. state is the location of Brother Bear? Well, it is in Alaska. We can kind of see that from the next question, but yeah, this movie is set in Alaska. Question number 5. What are the names of the 2 moose that provide a lot of comic relief? Well, that is Rut and Took. Now, they provide a lot of comic relief, so much to the point that Disney has used them in several different areas as well. They're in the DVD to kind of guide you. They used them in different promos leading up to the movie coming out. So they're also the ones that sound the most Canadian, eh? And again, just a lot of fun between the 2 of them. Last but not least, question number 6. How did Disney represent Kenai's expansive perspective of the world? Well, they changed the aspect ratio from narrow to wide. So if you've ever seen the movie, specifically if you've ever seen the movie on Disney Plus, it starts out and you're like, okay, something's wrong. You think something's wrong. Like somehow a setting got changed or something like that. But then Kenai gets changed to the bear and all of a sudden it looks back to normal. That's how Disney represented it. It's a really cool, really subtle way to be able to kind of show that, and it's definitely one of those things where you may not necessarily notice it on the first watch, but definitely if you watch it a second, third, or more times, you definitely notice it, and that's what makes this movie so great, so phenomenal, and so rewatchable. All right, let's wrap up today's game and round number 5 talking about Wreck-It Ralph. Again, another great movie anniversary this week, so let's ask some questions about a great movie with the biggest character with the biggest heart. So let's get started with question number 1. Within 2, what year did Wreck-It Ralph hit theaters? Question number 2. What video game is Ralph the bad guy for and is based on the original 1981 Donkey Kong? Question number 3. What do Ralph and Vanellope have to do to make Vanellope's car for the race? Question number 4. What voice actor, who has done several Disney movies lately, plays King Candy? Question number 5. What real-life DJ is the basis for the party DJ for the 30th anniversary party in the movie? And question number 6. A form of Wreck-It Ralph has been in development since the 1980s by Disney. Name one of the 2 movie titles that were part of the development process. All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return to wrap up today's game. All right, let's wrap up today's game on a little bit of Wreck-It Ralph. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did Wreck-It Ralph hit theaters? Well, it hit theaters on November 2, 2012. So in order to get the point there, you would have to say between 2010 and 2014. So yeah, this movie is 11 years old today. So happy anniversary to Wreck-It Ralph. Question number 2. What video game is Ralph the bad guy for and is based on the original 1981 Donkey Kong? That is Fix-It Felix Jr. Now, obviously, Fix-It Felix is the main character, but Ralph is the bad guy, and he kind of gets you can kind of see the Donkey Kong comparison when he kind of moves from side to side. He throws things, he beats things up to kind of destroy the path of the that Felix is trying to go, all that sort of stuff. So that is the connection there, and definitely you can see the connection. The hands definitely say Donkey Kong. Question number 3. What do Ralph and Vanellope have to do to make Vanellope's car for the race? Well, they have to make the car in a bonus round. So they have to go into the bonus round. They have to put the car together. They have to essentially bake the car by mixing the ingredients. They have to, put the ingredients in the bowl, throw away the trash. Ralph lends his huge lungs to be able to keep the oven warm, all that sort of stuff, then decorating. So they have to kind of create that car in a, bonus game, if you will. Question number 4. What voice actor, who has done several Disney movies lately, plays King Candy? That is Alan Tudyk. Now, we've seen him in a lot of things. He was in Disney's Once Upon a Studio as well. He recreated the voice for the Mad Hatter, and he was spot on. And I'm going to be excited to see him as the donkey in Wish that comes out in a couple weeks as well. Question number 5. What real-life DJ is the basis of the party DJ for the 30th anniversary party in the movie? That is Skrillex. So when you see the movie, you see a DJ for the Fix-It Felix Jr. 30th anniversary party. That is based on Skrillex. Now, Skrillex did provide the music for a lot of the movie, specifically the gameplay of a lot of the more modern games. So there is that connection as well, and I don't know what Skrillex is doing these days, but man, he put out some good songs, some definite bangers, and some definite ones that could get you really hyped really quick. Last but not least, question number 6. A form of Wreck-It Ralph has been in development since the 1980s by Disney. Name one of the 2 movie titles that were part of the development process. So in order to get the point there, you would have had to say either High Score or Joe Jump. Either one of those would have gotten you a point. High Score was kind of like the original name. Joe Jump kind of came in the 90s, but this was definitely one of those movies that kept kind of progressing. They kept kind of working. It was one of those, like, they put it off to the side because something else would come up, and then they'd go back to it, so on and so forth. It was kind of like Rapunzel. How Rapunzel was a Walt idea, and it had been in the making for technically 50 years. Wreck-It Ralph was that same way, but it was from the 80s, and it was finally released in 2012. But again, a great movie. We will probably talk about Ralph Breaks the Internet when we get to that one and that anniversary. But November is filled with a lot of great movies. A lot of studios release a lot of good movies in November, so I anticipate a lot more movie anniversaries throughout this month as well. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in this week. I will return next Thursday with more questions and more fun. Make sure that you are following us on all of our social media at Mouse in the Mitten on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. And hey, if you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. In the comments, let us know what your score is. If you're listening to the podcast, make sure that you are subscribed there, you're following. If you're on Apple, make sure that you choose to automatically download as well. Leave a 5-star review wherever you can. Let us know what is your score. And again, if you are planning a Disney vacation and you need a little bit of help to plan that, and you want someone to take that vacation and turn it from good to great, would love to be that person for you. Feel free to email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. Would love to get that all set up and would love to make your trip fantastic. Well, hey, my name's Court. The dog's name is Milo. I appreciate you tuning in this week, and I will see you next time.